All right, so Mr. Arum, now that the fight is on, how's the promotion doing at this point?
Well, we're just getting started. We're going to kick off the promotion here in Manila with a press conference with Manny on Wednesday, the 19th. We're going to announce in the United States that tickets are on sale starting Friday, the 21st. We expect to sell out at Mandalay. They're very excited. And we'll do a press conference with the two fighters sometime after the first of the year in January.
And what numbers are you looking at? The typical Manny Pacquiao numbers, or probably maybe more?
Well, if Manny comes over and trains in the United States, and we have the opportunity to utilize him more on the promotion, then we have a good chance to increase the numbers. If he's going to do like last time and spend a week in the United States and the rest of the time here in the Philippines, then we're going to do the same old numbers, which are strong, but not as strong as they can be. We've got to be able to start crossing him over into the general population. Right now, I would say that about 90% of the people that buy the fight on pay-per-view are either Filipinos or Mexicans.
You've been involved in too many classic, unforgettable, memorable promotions, Mr. Arum. To which fight can you compare this Pacquiao Marquez fight?
Well, the reason it's unique is that Manny is now the winner of 2 out of 3 fights with Morales, 2 out of 2 fights with Barrera, and Marquez is the third of the triumvirate, and Manny hasn't beaten him. They fought once, it was a draw, and so Marquez goes into the ring with the whole weight of the Mexican fight fan on his shoulder. I mean, really, he's the last Mexican standing. And so that gives the fight a real dramatic appeal that's not just hype, that's fact.
And how big really will this be for Manny? They say that could be an easy fight because after what happened in 2004, that's about 3 years ago, and Marquez is, actually getting old, but how big will this be for Manny?
Well, if Manny thinks it's an easy fight, he has another guess coming. Because after the first 2 rounds, right, Manny won the first round big by knocking Marquez down 3 times. Marquez was wobbly in the second round. But from the third round on, Marquez won 90% of the rounds. So, that tells you something. I mean, this wasn't a situation where Manny rallied at the end to get the draw. Manny had the guy out and couldn't finish him off, and down the stretch lost every round. I mean, it's a tough fight. It's a real tough fight.
Mr. Arum, you mentioned about your plans for Manny next year, July and November. Can you tell us something about it?
Well, my hope is in July to fight in Macau at the new arena that seats 15,000 people. Macau is only an hour from Manila, so it'd be a lot more accessible than Las Vegas is for the Philippine fight fan. And then in November, Kersner International is opening this fabulous Atlantis hotel, which now exists in the Bahamas, opening an Atlantis in Dubai that's supposed to be incredible, and they want to open up the festivities with a big international fight, and they're considering Manny Pacquiao for that date.
If you remember, Mr. Arum, we talked about the future of Manny. To be specific, his opponents. One time you mentioned about Oscar De La Hoya. I had a chat with Freddie Roach, and he mentioned that Golden Boy was thinking of Ricky Hatton as a possible opponent for Manny. What are your thoughts about this possible future opponents for Manny?
Well, the last thing Freddie wants is for Oscar to fight Manny, because I don't know whose corner he'd work, you know. So obviously he doesn't want a De La Hoya fight, but they raised it with me about the possibility of Oscar fighting Manny Pacquiao. Ricky Hatton would be a really interesting fight for Manny, and that would be a great fight to do in Dubai in November, because the biggest market for Dubai is the United Kingdom.
And lastly, Mr. Arum, talking about the sport in general, do you think next year would be a big year for the so-called little guys of the sport?
I think it'll be a great year for boxing, the little and big and medium. I think, you'll see Miguel Cotto fighting some big fights. Kelly Pavlik is taking the boxing world by storm, the middleweight champion. That could possibly be a fight against Calzaghe before the end of the year at super middleweight. My plan for Manny Pacquiao is, if he gets by Marquez, to try to win the lightweight title against David Diaz. And if he does, it's not very much more to go up a few more pounds and fight Ricky Hatton. I think Manny could very well beat Hatton. Hatton was way too small to fight Floyd Mayweather, and not fast enough. I think it would be. I would love to see Pacquiao against Ricky Hatton, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. I mean, he's got to fight Marquez, which isn't easy. I mean, he lost 9 out of the last 10 rounds when he fought Marquez, and then he has David Diaz, and let's see him at lightweight, and then we can consider Ricky Hatton.